Good morning. Okay, Mayor Valensky with driving markets. Let's kick off. So the markets jumped up yesterday because the 23 major banks passed the Fed stress test. You can't believe anything the Fed comes out with. The stress test must have been either so low or non-existent that anyone would have passed that stress test. The banks are stressed. The banks are in a stress state. Not only the top tier one banks in a stress state, also the regional banks are in a stress state. There's been huge amounts of money printed and completely loaded up into the economy in order to hide the stress that the banks are under. So the market bought into that, the algorithms and the computers all kicked off, and everything went blue. Now, this is really all contrived. Everything within the stock market is fixed. It's all fixed because these algo computers are programmed in order to buy and trade accordingly. So the high volume traders and the Wall Street banks will always make money based on these computers controlled by Wall Street. The Fed's interest is not to panic the public. And what's happening at the moment is that the Fed is effectively lying to the public. They're lying because by telling them the truth, what's going to end up happening is the public is going to panic. And as a result of panicking, they're going to realize that the economy is in a recession. So the economy is in a recession. They've been lied to by people like Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell. Janet Yellen is saying the economy is not in a recession, and Jerome Powell is saying we could end up going into recession. So get it right. This is the same Janet Yellen that in 2022, February 2022, said that inflation is transitory or transient. In other words, it's going to be over by April 2022. The same US Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, who hasn't got the foggiest idea what's going on. She's educated, she's been to Harvard, she's got all the degrees, but I think when it comes to everyday business and understanding what's going on in the economy, out in the street, what Joe Public is actually experiencing, she hasn't got the foggiest idea, and neither does Jerome Powell. The public in the business, the small business, is in a recession. But what's most important is that the banks pass the stress test. The 23 top banks pass the Fed stress test. That is crazy. In other words, the whole thing is being misrepresented to Joe Public. So what can you do about it? So the main thing to do about it is, first of all, be aware that everything is contrived and everything is run by these algo and these computers on Wall Street. Okay, to try and beat the market in trading, very, very unlikely, because they're going to suck you in and then spit you out. So you've got to be clever in your trading. That's why I'm running a mentorship program. That's why I'm running a program on a one-on-one where clients and individuals can come and I can guide them and hopefully add value either to their trading or to their business or to their any type of investment strategy, and be a soundboard on there in order to give those people, the public, experience as to what's happened over the last few years, what's happening in markets and in business, and give you a head start as to how you are facing those challenges on a daily basis. Overall, the economy is in a recession. Overall, core inflation is going to stay significantly high. Headline inflation, which is energy prices and food driven, is going to come down. Why? Because the energy prices have absolutely crashed. As a result of that, headline inflation will look lower than it is. But you've got to keep an eye on core inflation. You've got to watch core inflation. Core inflation is the real inflation, not headline inflation. And core inflation is at 5-6%. That's where you've got to keep an eye on. This week, all the banks met up in Portugal. They all talked about the economy. They all talked about inflation, interest rates. Germany's in a recession. The Bundesbank is in big trouble with 650 billion euros of debt. Huge amounts that Germany's not going to be able to repay. So they're going to end up printing a load of money. And that's what's going to happen to the Fed. And that's what's going to happen also to the UK Bank of England. As the economies slowly go into recession or negative GDP, you'll find that in 2024, unemployment will rise, and that was what's going to cause property prices to drop significantly, and obviously stock markets will fall 25 to 30%. This is Mayor Walensky with Driving Markets. Have a good day.